Now, last year, 22-year-old Eleanor Williams was jailed for 8.5 years after falsely claiming she'd been raped by multiple men and trafficked by an Asian grooming gang.
Welcome back, my next guest is...
Yep, y'all heard that correct. A serial rapist. No. Let me correct that. A serial false accuser has been arrested and convicted of false accusations and is now serving 8.5 years for it. God damn it, you can't make this shit up. And check this out. This happened across the pond in the UK. Now, one will ask themselves this question. If the UK will convict these females who falsely accuse men of rape and sexual assault, then what is the US excuse? Oh, that's right. According to the US, they can't press charges against these women who goes around pressing these false claims and charges against men because they are afraid that actual victims won't show up, which is utterly stupid and ridiculous. Utterly stupid and ridiculous. Well, if they're not lying, then what should they be afraid of, huh? And this is the reason why the US is going to continue to have this fucking problem, because they too chicken shit to do shit about it. But before I go on a rant, yep, it's me again. They hate us, that's why they give a fuck about us. At the same time, I am your host, JD Miles. The MGTOWs, they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time, which is why they keep us relevant to this very day, and I'm back again. And before I go any further, shout out to Nate the Lawyer. I'll leave the link to his full video in the description box. Go check it out. But without further ado, let's get down to business, shall we?
Guest has spent the last 2 years in a nightmare after being falsely accused of a woman he barely knew. Jordan Trengrove was just 18 when he met Eleanor Williams on nights out in Cumbria.
This woman got 8 years in prison for falsely accusing men of doing horrible things to her. Let's talk about it.
Yep, let's talk about it.
This is Eleanor Williams. She grew up in the UK, and according to court records, she had a, quote, difficult childhood, and she had some self-harm issues at a young age. Now, Eleanor didn't get along with her mom and stepdad, so she was able to move out at the age of 16 to her own.
Indeed. In case in point, she is a hurt individual, and as they say, hurt people hurt people. And for Eleanor Williams here, she is the walking definition to that term. But let's continue.
To her own apartment. Now, in 2017, Eleanor went to the police and claimed that a man she met at a party assaulted her. She pointed the man out to police, and he was arrested, questioned, but later on he was released because Eleanor withdrew her support for the prosecution.
Right, so the police are now recording. So
Exclusive police footage shows Williams' deception began 3 years earlier when she said she'd been at a party. She withdrew her involvement, but a year and a half later, she makes a fresh allegation.
That new allegation was against a man named Jordan Trengrove. Now, he spent something like 70 days in jail based on this false allegation.
22-year-old Jordan Trengrove had the word spray painted on his house. He spent 73 days in prison whilst awaiting trial, sharing a cell with a convicted sex offender, charged on the basis of Williams's false claims.
I didn't want to be alive. I said to my own mum, I'm going to come out of prison in a box because I can't do this. I've done nothing wrong and I'm being treated like I have. So what's the point in being here? You know what I mean? I was so scared that I was going to get so many years over my head that for something that I didn't do, and now I've just got to make a positive out of this and try and get some help out there for people who, like myself, have been to prison for something that they haven't done.
Now, you think 2 allegations?
Straight up. And yeah, I feel where he's coming from because I've been through it. And the thing, fellas, all this talk about men's mental health, don't you know if a man goes to this situation where he's falsely accused of something, he's locked up in jail? Who knows what is happening to him behind those walls? And he's going through mental breakdowns over a false accusation. Do these retarded fucks even know what that shit does to that man's mental health? He had to go through that grilling ordeal. But everybody wants to talk about men's mental health. Apparently in the US, they don't give a damn if a man goes through that because they will still allow these tricks to go back and still do this shit to these men. And for what? Because they're afraid that the actual victims will not come forward, which of course is straight horse shit. So basically, their excuse is to continue to let the shit happen, let men suffer, let men lose everything, all because of a fear they have. This is why I am an advocate for shit like this. They get falsely accused, their life ruined, they come to find out that this shit is a lie, and these men are expected to move on with their goddamn lives. You can't make this retarded fuck-ass shit up. Let's continue.
Allegations may be enough, but no, she goes on. She then makes another allegation against a local businessman, Mohammed Ramazan, and she says that he does horrible things to her. Check it out.
One man, Mohammed Ramazan, a local businessman in Barrow, of grooming her from the age of 12, of selling her, auctioning her off in a plot, the prosecution said, straight from that Liam Neeson movie Taken, that was all about, trafficking and auctioning off young women, of making her work in a brothel.
That's right. She watched the movie Taken, stole the plot, and said this guy had done that to her. And we're not even halfway through all the allegations. She made more.
When police are called to her home, injured and seemingly intoxicated, she makes more claims of being trafficked. An investigation takes place, and this is the innocent young man she accuses. CCTV from that night shows the pair met by chance in Preston when he asks her for a lighter. It's Williams who pursues a conversation. She's then seen on camera in Barrow and Furness walking home with no visible injuries. But when police arrive at her flat 20 minutes later, this is what they find.
I'll help you. I'll help you. She'll get you an ambulance.
In court, a judge ruled these injuries were self-inflicted and that she was play acting.
Read.
Talk about the girl who cried rape. The girl who cried sexual assault. But what do we expect from a serial false accuser like her? And the fact that she's been doing this constantly while the British authorities, who were completely oblivious to the constant false claims of this, that, and the third, is mind-blowing to me. But she was able to do all this fake victim shit. But it's not a problem. Yeah, we get it. We all get it. Let's continue.
Newspaper.
He also found there was no evidence that she was mentally unwell.
Now, I don't know if you guys can recognize the escalation. First, it was just, I'll tell the police, and retract it. Then she tells the police the story, but they found it as false. Now she's actually faking injuries, making to really make it seem like these men did something to her. And again, the reason why she's not prosecuted at this point in time is because of the whole believe all women, and we don't want real victims to come forward, so we don't want.
And this is the reason why I say that whole term, believe all women, is retarded as fuck. Fuck believe all women. We believe in the evidence. Where's the goddamn evidence? Proving that this woman is a victim and not just her pretending to be one. And what pisses me off about this is that they still pushing that phrase, despite the fact that the person who coined it also falsely accused a man of sexual assault. Remember Accuser Ford, who falsely accused Supreme Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh of assault? Come to find out she was lying about the shit. She was the one who coined the term believe all women. And she lied about her claims the entire time, yet everybody is still to be expected to believe all women, despite the fact that these may be the same women that's in there lying to their asses right now. No. We're not going to believe all women. What we will believe is the evidence that's brought to the forefront. What we are going to believe is proof that is brought to the table. Or did we forget? Women lie just as much as the men lie. Oh, that's right. That's right. That common logic flies over these clowns' heads right now. Let's continue.
We don't punish the liars, but this emboldens her to continue to lie. Okay, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Ground News. Okay,
and that's a fact. That believe all women retarded fuck shit is nothing more than a shield to sit there and let them continue to lie and have people falsely accused and their lives ruined. Now, I'm going to skip over this because he's advertising here, and I'm not going to go through that.
Now, with renewed confidence, she came up with some more allegations. But this time, the allegations went mega viral.
And it began with this Facebook post.
I think this is the hardest post I'm ever going to write. I didn't want to share this because I'm scared of the judgment that will come with it. People need to be looking out for young girls and protecting them.
Alongside the graphic photos, Ellie Williams claimed she was being tortured and exploited at the hands of an Asian grooming gang. Pictures of Ellie Williams, her young face and body covered in scars and bruises, were like a grenade thrown into the middle of this town. Barrow was torn in two, divided between the people who believed Ellie had been a victim of an Asian grooming gang and those who felt it was an elaborate racist lie. There were protests on the street, dark conspiracies online, a community profoundly damaged.
So, let's step back for a second. Eleanor said that she essentially was kidnapped and being trafficked by some Asian gang. And during that time, they had her doing some wild, crazy stuff. But UK has a lot of surveillance. And police started investigating. You know what? I'll show you exactly what the police found.
Are resolved in the most dramatic way. At court, a raft of damning evidence showing Ellie Williams has made up the whole story. Here she is on CCTV footage, calmly booking herself into a hotel in Blackpool, supposedly at the time she'd been trafficked there. Here she is buying snacks in a local shop. And here, perhaps the most extraordinary piece of evidence. Ellie buys a hammer which the jury are told she uses to inflict horrific injuries on herself.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Clearly see on this is an evolution. You've got an awful allegation in 2017, a much worse allegation in 2019, and then weeks later, boom, it properly snowballs into a massive, multi-handed, organised crime group.
Cumbria police say this is a totally unique case.
Now, Eleanor was arrested and prosecuted for her lies. Now, since her lies ranged over...
Facts. But to see what believe all women ended up being in this situation, and I'm talking to the U.S. right here. You see where all that believe all women bullshit has gotten this situation? To the point to where you have a hurt individual, a hurt female, going around using that as a crutch to falsely accuse other men. And they sat there and they believed her each and every time until the actual evidence came out that she was lying. So again, should we believe all women? Fuck no. If she was lying about the first time and the second time, then yes, eyebrows must be raised. And as I said before, this is a serial false accuser. Let's continue.
For years and affected multiple men, the judge took very little pity on her. Now, I think it's important to note that most time women who make these lies don't get investigated, get no jail time, and get absolutely nothing. But Eleanor got a shock.
Ellie Williams was convicted of 9 charges of perverting the course of justice and today sentenced to 8.5 years in jail.
There is no explanation for why the defendant would commit these offences. She has gone to extraordinary lengths to create false accusations, including causing herself significant injury.
A brief statement from Ellie herself was read out in court. "I'm not saying I'm guilty," she said, "but I know that I have done wrong on some of this, so I'm sorry." Outside the court, the question, would that be enough for the men Ellie Williams accused of and exploitation?
I feel no sense of triumph, only sadness for the loss of the years, the impact on my family, here we are, and the true impact that this will have on true victims. That's the loss here.
So Eleanor Williams lied on multiple men. Think about 6 or 7 different men, making up allegations of torture and all of this other stuff. Now, the sad part about this story is that why did it take so many lies before police were able to lock this woman up? Just imagine if they would have arrested her after the first lie, right? When the one that she retracted. Then what if after the second lie? There were multiple times police could have stopped this and saved these innocent men from these accusations, but they didn't because they wanted to, quote, believe all women and we want to help other victims. But in the sense, the police believing that they were helping other victims come forward by not holding this woman accountable did the reverse and actually created victims. And those victims happen to be the men that Eleanor Williams accused of these.
And that's a fact. They're so busy, want to believe all women, want to believe all these women are victims. They don't pay attention to the fact that some of these women are taking advantage of that bullshit. This is the reason why I get so hard in the paint over why I believe all women is bullshit. Especially if they're using that phrase as a crutch to take advantage, such as what this woman did. And yes, I'm glad she's serving time. She's serving time for the shit that she caused. She deserved to be punished. And yes, U.S. And yes, United States of America, you can learn from the UK. Stop shielding these false accusers and punish them for their false claims against other people, especially if those people are being negatively affected by these false claims and accusations. And that whole entire excuse about, oh, we can't charge or convict these women who commit all these false accusations because the actual victims will be afraid to come out is bullshit. If they are actual victims, then they would have nothing to be afraid of. Period. And to me, fuck that. They say this. They only saying this shit as an excuse to why not they don't want to do it, and this is the reason why this problem still persists. But at the very least, there is some places where filing false accusations against someone can land you in trouble. And for that, salute to the British authorities for doing their job right. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. If I want to watch Nate the lawyer's video in its entirety, I'll leave the link to his full video in the description box. Go check it out. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But that's all I'm going to say for the matter. I'm done and I'm out this bitch. Later.